All rise. Obviously, it's been a very strong, emotionally charged week this week with elections going on and everything else. So as we bow our heads today and offer this prayer, we ask you to think about the nation as a whole. God, we give you thanks for the freedoms we exercise and the many blessings of democracy we enjoy here in the United States. We ask for your protection and guidance for those who have devoted themselves to the common good, working for justice and peace, both here at home in the United States and around the world. We also ask for your guidance and protection and your appreciation to all our local elected leaders, to all the county, state, federal leaders, and public servants, for those who will serve as president, legislator, senators, judges, and most importantly, with Veteran Day coming up, the military, for all they have done for this nation, and our law enforcement. Heal us with our differences and help us to unite, because we all have a common purpose. We are all dedicated and committed to achieve liberty and justice for all the people here in the United States. And let us always most remember those who are most vulnerable in our midst. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. The first item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held October 31, 2024.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. Are there any guests here concerning county business? Hearing none,
Report of executive sessions held.
there were none.
Department reports. The budget transfers.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
There are no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures, approval of payroll check numbers 76294 through 76310, and direct deposit check numbers 6070080 through 6070540 for the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $764,236.65. This is the payroll dated November 1st, 2024.
Motion ratified.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 246900 through 246967 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account totaling $780,711.61.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The treasurer's report.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. We will currently recess the Commissioners' morning meeting and convene the annual the salary board.
Our first item is the approval of the minutes of the salary board meeting held October 3rd, 2024.
Motion approved.
Second. Oh, go ahead.
Second. Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
I abstained since I was absent.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. There was one executive session held, obviously, to deal with personnel, and that was held on November 4th, 10:30 a.m. And with that, are there any guests concerning salary board business? Hearing none?
Our first item is court administration. Judge Surface?
Thank you. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
So under court administration, the court moves to change the rate of one certified court reporter from $30.23 per hour, that's grade 10, step P, to $31.76 per hour, that's grade 10, effective December 2nd, 2024.
Do we have a second? Hearing no second, the motion dies.
All right, I have an alternative motion, gentlemen. The alternative motion is to change the rate of one certified court reporter from $30.23 per hour to $31.39 per hour.
I'll second that.
Judge Surface?
Yes,
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
and next, the court moves to change the rate of one office supervisor one, MPJ Weatherly, from $26.39 per hour, that's grade S2, to $17.39 per hour, grade S2, step A, effective November 11th, 2024.
Second.
Judge Surface?
Yes.
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And our next item is the public defender. Establish the position of one temporary part-time assistant public defender, grant funded, at the AFSCME union prevailing rate of $38,200 per annum, effective November 8th, 2024.
Motion to establish.
Second?
Mrs. Herman?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. Anything further? Okay, we will reconvene the commissioners' meeting.
Next item is the personnel report for county departments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Or, motion to acknowledge.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Next item, adult probation, item number 24511, proposal, Geo Reentry Services LLC.
Is there any
Do we
motions?
have a
or-
motion for acceptance?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it with discussion. I think we'll take this to a vote. The only thing I would like to state is, there is some concerns here. Obviously, financing this, I know we have discussed that in the past, and we're looking at using possibility of some opioid settlement money when this proposal was brought to before us. There is also money that would be coming from the county. Basically, half of that would be paying for that from the county. And I do think that this whole proposal and Geo is a great idea. It is a area in which we need to pursue. And I think the county needs to continue to look at that and continue to look into it. But just at this time, I think the board, if everyone here has some concerns and some data that they would like to have more brought up to date, I think if there's a no out of this, which I may or may not, I can't say that until we vote, but I think it's not that the board is saying no to GO or this type of proposal. It's just no due to some funding and data issues at this time, or data issues at this time. I don't know if anybody else has anything further to add to that.
Well, and I just want to make some comments. I mean, there's nothing wrong with looking at two different ideas on, to try to even save money or enhance different programs. And, I mean, currently we have Carbon Monroe Pike Drug and Alcohol, and I think they've been doing a tremendous job so far. And I look at it, I mean, we've been on the prison board for almost 5 years now, and we were at 365, and now we're down to 135. So I think I have to commend the judges and everybody else that's involved in it in breaking that down. But I think one of the big things, I mean, I look at a lot of these, I mean, I went through the whole thing, 59 pages. And there's a lot of services that are duplicated, that Carbon Monroe Pike is doing. And I don't want a local entity, to collapse, through a program like this. And, maybe they can work together in some kind of a program with it, or either enhance what we have currently now, because, like I said, we went from 300, I think I have it, 365 people in 2019 in the prison to 135. So something's happening through the courts that's working good. I mean, and all of this, I mean, it has, we are, in fact, last week, I think we did an agreement with the Voltech to get some, with CCTI, to get some, schooling for these people. And I see other things in here. I mean, it's through adult probation, but there's always also on the last page, it has to do with juvenile probation. And we do not have any incarcerated that I know, as far as I know of, that are incarcerated. So, and this here, with this program, we're giving up 2,000 square feet of our buildings where we need space for our own people. And I don't think that's an advantage for GEO versus CMP. And like I said, everybody sees what Carbon County, we don't have space for anybody. And I can't see giving a nonprofit space in our buildings at this time. And that's just my feeling on it. And not that the program wouldn't work, but like Mike said, I think we need a lot more information before we start on something like this.
Yes, I have to agree. The biggest thing is the financial end of it. When you look at $355 a year plus the space, putting 3 additional people down there, I don't think people realize how dire or bad the budget situation is, as you'll see later in the agenda, when we have to approve some expenditures. And until it's proven to me that programs they have where they claim they're gonna be taking on a lot of funding in CRINs, give it a year. If I see those funds or other funding coming in, this grant money, the COVID or the opioid money, it's not gonna be there forever. And a lot of these programs, if you're gonna continue them, where's the funding gonna come from? We're the ones that have to sit up here and raise the taxes. And right now, it is gonna be a huge expense, and it is not gonna go away for many years because we have no fund balance and have to rebuild the fund balance. People have to start taking more cuts in budgeting. We cannot afford to spend all this funding on programs until we get a return. Not all that money is coming out of the opioid funding or other revenues through programs. There will still be county expenses. So at this time, I am not in favor of this at this point in time. We went up to Wilkes-Barre, and when we went up there, the impression I got was to look at this program to do ourselves, not to hire somebody else to do it.
The only thing I'd like to say in closing on all this, obviously, is I know that the Adult Probation Office, Chief Holder, have spent countless hours pursuing this and putting presentations together along with our judges. And I thank you for that. And I think we need to continue to do that because just because maybe right now it's not there, it doesn't mean that it can't be there in the future. And obviously there will be opioid money available as we move forward and a process in which we can get that money there. But personally, I'd like to thank you and just tell you that I don't see this as an issue that's gone away or that we've done. It's just at this time maybe that's where we need to be until we have a little bit more deeper dive into where we want to go with this. So.
Well, I think it's just to respond to Commissioner Arner. You said you had specific questions, Commissioner. Are there questions that adult probation can answer for you?
Well, it's only a thing I don't like rushing into things, and I said I think, and I've seen other counties how this is going, and some of the counties are going into it, it's real good. But one of the big things I think was in Lancaster in 2019, they were worried about the provider that they had there that was going out of business. I mean, they had big protests over it. And I don't need that here right now until we have something solid that it's gonna be working for us. Is this gonna be something that is gonna eliminate Carbon Monroe Pike and drug and alcohol? because number one, we're in with a joiner board with 3 other counties. Is that gonna ripple effect to Monroe and what? And I don't have the proof that this is not gonna get rid of Carbon, Monroe Pike, and drug and alcohol, because, like I said, you look in all these pages that I looked through, and you even look on what, here's 9 different, there's a test, 9 different tests to administrator for what type of drug you're on, and there's 8 others besides opiate. And like I said, I think like Wayne said, if there's a program that's gonna work, I think we would go for it. But to just depend on opiate money for it, that's not what that was intended for. And I think what everybody gotta realize, right here sits the people that are in charge of the opiate money. And we're responsible for it. And if we nuts up on something and don't do it right and use it for opiate, like right now, we're battling over how many things that we don't know if it's for opiate, we're checking. And here's something, is this gonna, if we would invest half the money in this, say the 175, are we going to be able to pay it out of the opiate? We might only be able to pay a third of it, you know, and I don't know who can tell us what it is, because I tell you what, we go to all kinds of meetings, we talk to the trust people, and nobody ever really gives us a positive number on what we can spend it on. You know, how many meetings were we in already that we wanna do this, but you can't. So, and what's gonna wind up happening, we're getting millions of dollars in over the next 18 years. And if we nut something up here, screw it up, that puts us in jeopardy of not getting future payments. And we probably have probably $6 million worth of payments coming yet. You know, we got a long time to do this, and I just don't wanna, and like I said, the program is it looks good, but like I'm saying, is it gonna put Carbon, Monroe Pike in jeopardy? Because like I said, on here, they're gonna try and help people get jobs. That's what Carbon, Monroe Pike does, you know, and it has here, vocational training, we're doing that. Electronic monitoring, in fact, I think we bought, ankle bracelets years ago, did we ever use them? You know, I think there's stuff that we can do within to try to maybe enhance the programs that we got, and if it doesn't work, and like with these people coming in, they're like almost looking like they're administrating. Who is gonna be doing the jobs that's going out and talking to all these people? Is it gonna be through the adult probation officers? Or, I mean, are these 3 people just coming in to sort of manage? You know, and I think that's the thing that I'm looking at. What is actually the chain of command or the structure of it? You know, what's gonna fit our county? You know what I mean? And Judge Server, that's where I'm at. I mean, we go over things like even with children and youth. We went over the whole thing, talked to the state, got it structured the way it was supposed to be set up for children and youth. And I don't really see any kind of structure here yet on how it's gonna work.
So it sounds like you have 2 major issues. The one is whether or not the county is able to use opioid funds to partially fund this program, and if so, to what extent? And then also, will the services provided by GEO, if the county would proceed with this program, will they in any way jeopardize the efforts or the ongoing viability of Carbon, Monroe Pike? Those are your main concerns.
Yeah, and I think the number one thing is I don't think there's none of us here, and I don't think it comes down to the opiate money. I think it comes down to a program that's gonna work for us. I mean, I think that's what we're here to do, to help, but I don't wanna put everybody in jeopardy either, you know? And like Wayne said, and I didn't get to go that day, I was up in Wayne County, I think that day I didn't get to see it, but the intent was to bring the program to our providers right now, and it turned into bringing up another company in to do something different. And I think that's where a little bit of the confusion with all of us is, you know, it's not, you know, and like I said, you know, I've been working on a drug, alcohol program that I've been working on for 3 weeks, and I gotta be right, and we finally got it done, we got our commercials done, we got our advertising, we got all things like that. And I battled over that for probably 4 weeks already. And if somebody could come in here and say, yeah, we can do this and we can get people help, that's what we're here for. And I don't think it comes down to the opiate money. I think it comes down to the people we can help. And I'm not looking, and if there's a program that's gonna help people, that's good. but I'm not just gonna depend on opiate money for it. You know what I mean? If you would come in with a program, I think we could find the money somewhere, even if it wasn't out of the opiate money, to do it. You know, so I
my
might be
hope, Harry, gets
confusing you
here.
a little bit, but,
My hope, without going, my hope, Your Honor, is that, my hope is that as the board and that continue to open lines of communication and we discuss this, we can answer some of those questions that are lying before us.
Yeah, I think it would be, I think that's a fine idea, but I think in order to be able to answer those questions, the court first needs to know what those questions are.
Right.
So I think we have access to answers to the questions that you pose, or at least have mentioned here today. But unless or until we have a specific list of inquiries and questions, it is not possible for us to be able to answer questions that aren't articulated. So if you are able to provide the court with a list of questions that you believe would need to be answered before you could support this program, I believe that the court would be able to address those.
Very good. I understand. Thank you.
And by the way, before we go, I know the Chief Adult Probation Officer is here. Are there any questions for the chief or the deputy chief?
no, I don't think so.
Can I just clarify? Drug and alcohol is not involved with the Reentry Services Center. We said that specifically so that Carbon Monroe Pike would not be affected by reentry. Reentry is to keep people out of prison and help them have a one-stop shop so that they can come to the county. The reason it can't be held in Lehighton is because there's data out there that says it should be a one-stop shop right by the courthouse. It has to be within a 1 mile radius or it fails. Geo came here and presented to all three of you on August 22nd. The deal after the presentation, and you could have asked Geo tons of questions about this, about their structure. It was said to us, if we found the money out of the adult probation budget, half of it, which we did, we cut a lot of things, we moved a lot of things around, then the opiate settlement money would be considered to be used. We went to Altoona all together, Rocky and Sir Franco, we were there, and they said if we put in a proposal for a reentry services center, it would be accepted. So those questions are answered already, we
And
have those
I
answers.
did not say that, just so you know that.
No, I said they said that at our meeting
Yeah,
in Altoona.
right.
So if we put in a proposal, it would be, we could use opiate settlement money. And Reentry Services Center, that's what they're doing in the United States. If we brought it here to Carbon County, we'd make a huge impact, and we could use opiate settlement money for a reason. And Mr. Arner, when we were in Altoona, you said, find a project that we can spend this money on. And you gave us a task, we found a project, and this is why we brought it to you.
I find it amazing how within 24 hours, you found $175,000 in a budget. But
It
every
wasn't
time-
24 hours, it was months and months of looking through the budget. You asked us to look and we did.
It wasn't
I
months
walked-
where it
worked with
came
the
back
courts.
and it was not months.
It
Okay,
was. We started this project back in April.
but when I made that proposal, you didn't have that figure at that time.
August 22nd, that's when you guys said, bring this to the table. So
Okay,
we-
if I, not interrupt either of you, I mean, I think that what, as I had said, I think that this can eventually, it's my hope that we can lift this and get this taken care of and work together and solve this, but at this time, I know there's some decisions that have to be made, and I would hope that my fellow colleagues here, commissioners, that we can work that out as time goes on. I don't mean to cut anyone off, but I think we need to have that discussion.
I would just reiterate that if we could get a list of issues that you have or questions that you'd like answered, we'll do our best to get you those answers so that we can address this promptly while we still have the proposal pending.
Very good. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
So we have a motion on the floor. May I call for the vote?
Yes, you may.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
No,
Mr. Sifranco?
No at this time.
Next item, boards and authorities. On that, number 24512, Industrial Development Authority reappointment, Marshall Walters.
Motion approved.
second,
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Parks and Recreation Commission, number 24513, reappointment Earl Henninger.
Motion approved.
second,
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Planning Commission, number 24514, reappointment Tim Berger, George Karas, and Robert Miller.
motion approved,
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Number 24-515, Lanta MATP Program, first quarter report.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Planning and Development, item number 24-516, CDBG, change order number 1, Jim Thorpe Borough.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The Solicitor's Report.
Thank you. First, for the Area Agency on Aging, item 24-517, seeking a motion for approval and execution of a first extension to the agreement to provide personnel emergency response services with ADT.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item 24-518, seeking a motion for approval of first extension to the agreement to provide personal emergency response system services with Valued Relationships Incorporated.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item 24-519, seeking a motion to approve and execute the banner request submitted by the Bach and Hondo Corral.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Next, declaration of disaster emergency, item 24-520, seeking motion to ratify resolution 24-042, declaration of disaster emergency in Carbon County due to wildfires and drought conditions on November 3rd, 2024.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
And under tax and revenue anticipation, item 24-521, seeking a motion for acceptance of a proposal from Stevens and Lee to serve as bond counsel for the tax anticipation note.
Motion accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
And related, item 24-522, seeking a motion for acceptance of a proposal from FSL Public Financing to act as financial advisor in connection with the tax and revenue anticipation note.
Motion accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
That was 4 votes.
That was very few.
Nothing further for the solicitors.
I have one thing under the solicitor's report. Today is Robert Fricklin's birthday. So, as they say on the radio, if you see Bob, tell him have a good day and wish him a happy birthday.
We'll take that as read. Thank you.
Any further business?
I have none.
Okay, Commissioners' reports. Mr. Honor?
I don't have anything, I mean, we're working on our, like I said before, our campaign. Today, the billboard in the Packard and Phipps should have the advertisement on it. We do have the commercial complete, and it should start running probably within about 2 weeks. So I'm happy with that. And that's it.
Mr. Notstein?
First item. Oh, long day. No, Veterans Day Parade kicks off at 1:45 in the Borough of Lansford on Sunday. Hopefully, rain date is the following weekend. So get out there, support those veterans that gave up years and years of their lives and family commitments just to serve our country. Number 2, we passed ratified the disaster resolution. Unbelievable that people are still out there burning, as of yesterday again, different areas, fires, etc. People don't realize one fire supposedly was from a fire burn a week ago prior, but it was a ground, it stumps, it smolders underneath for weeks and months at a time. It is highly, very, very dry right now. The wind's supposed to pick up again this afternoon. People don't realize how far the debris can travel. Ask Mr. Sifranco about the snow he saw or on his car in Jim Thorpe. How many had white debris that far away that I'm aware of in Jim Thorpe. I know I had it in Lee Heighton
we
and
had it in
other
our house.
surrounding areas. So the burning embers can travel quite distance. I know the one call I was on, and we had to cut 3 trees down because it was a dead trees, goes to the top. The debris is blowing in the wind, sending the fire down the line. We have root fires that can burn on the ground for months. In the last fire out in Mahoning Township there by the tree farm, I saw 2 trees fall, from the fire while the firefighters are up in that area. So extremely dangerous to them. High winds can really fire can travel far and in a hurry. So please, no burning, no cigarettes. We suspect one of the fires was caused by a cigarette thrown out the window. Normally, when it's good and moist and that, not as easy to ignite. Even if we get a little rain, hopefully we'll get a little bit, we didn't get what we wanted yesterday or the last month. Sunday possibly, but it still dries out in a hurry. So please be careful out there. No burning, no discarding, burning cigarettes, etc. So, number 3, elections. I want to congratulate all those people with the hard work that they put in the election office, the long hours, especially because of the bomb scare and interruptions and a lot of people out there I think just wanted to disrupt the whole cycle and create as many problems as they could to have a successful elections. But we had a lot of workers out there. Larry, our maintenance guy, working with we had a problem with the letter opener, so Larry, the cable guy, going all the way down to Lehigh County. Thanks to Tim Benyo, a former county elections director, and helped us out. And they went down and helped us out there. But they put a lot of hard hours in, put up with a lot of abuse in the election office from people that just don't know. We don't run the election or the post office, so that's not on us, and we don't write the laws. And as all of us sitting at this table will tell you, you call Department of State for answers, and they tell you, talk to your solicitor. They don't want to take the blame, they want to blame Bob and all the other Bobs out there. If something goes wrong, well, that was your solicitor's fault. No, don't blame us. Make up your damn mind out there in this Department of State. So our elected officials, Harrisburg, federal government, have to get their act together and, pass idiot-proof laws, whatever you want to call it, but come up with concrete answers that, and try to curtail as much of the outside influence on foreign countries, cyber terrorism, etc., and putting false information out there. The other thing, budget, you see we, another 17,500 plus other possible costs in working on refinancing or financing our budget between January, April, May, when we have no tax revenues in because we don't have a good solid fund balance. This will not go away. I would assume this is going to be a recurring event. Every year we're going to have to pay these people to do this. That's 17,500 that we'll have to spend because we don't have enough money in the fund balance. Other issues, costs still keep going up, so it's going to be a real tough budget year for everyone. That's one of the reasons I voted against that thing, for Geo and that. Do it within, suck it up, work harder, work smarter. We have to do it within. We can't afford to spend all that money on, hiring somebody else to do our job. We could use that funding, to support our own personnel to carry out those missions. So work within, work harder. That's all I have.
Mr. Franco?
I appreciate comments from both commissioners. It kind of hit on everything. I just like to say is to all the election workers out there, job well done on all those polls. I know it was trying at times. Crowds were overflowing. As you heard from Commissioner Notstein, when you leave the election office at 3:30 in the morning, which is when I left on Wednesday morning, it tells you what kind of dedicated employees we have in that office. And I thank Jen and her entire staff for getting it done. people have been asking about provisional ballots and writing about that canvassing. We will be at the office tomorrow at 9 a.m. to vote to begin that, and then that'll begin. And then once that becomes available, it'll be all there. We are trying to get all. I know we have to certify this election, and as you had heard from both Commissioner Notstein and Commissioner Arner, we're still looking for some answers from the state. And everybody wants us to certify elections, and we need some answers. So we're going to try to get all those answers. I know everybody wants to get that all done, but we'd like to have some answers too before we certify. And because in the past the answer has always been, well, it's already certified, and we don't have all the answers. So we're going to do our best to get that in line here in Carbon County. We had no real major issues. A couple little complaints. Biggest issue was when a letter machine breaks down, and as you heard, Larry Sinicola likes to take the credit for saving the day, but he saved the day by going and getting it and bringing it here. If it wasn't for Solicitor Fricklin unloading it off the truck with Larry, we probably would not have had it. So
I pretended to lift.
He pretended, he was going, "Ugh," but he was, his arm wasn't moving.
And finally, but probably most importantly, we all know this is Veterans Day weekend. So there's a lot to be said there, but I think the biggest thing is to take one of those, if you see a veteran, say thank you. Because we wouldn't be here doing what we're doing today and living the way we live if it wasn't for those veterans. So please say thank you to them. I wish them all a very happy Veterans Day. And with that, that concludes the meeting. The meeting will be adjourned.
This ought to be good.
I got it.
All right, hold it. No, wait, real quick. Is there someone in the hall? Wait a second, just before she comes in, I'd just like to say, because I don't want to do this during
Yeah.
the business session, because we do have business that needs to be get done. But as you heard me say earlier today, there's a lot of birthdays that are going on in the county, especially in the commissioner's office in November. Last night, we were at the Veterans, and Commissioner Notstein's birthday is on Saturday. So Commissioner Notstein is a Air Force veteran. So Commissioner Arner and myself asked if the veterans would be willing to donate that to him for his party on Saturday afternoon. This is a payback to a couple weeks back. I had a bad knee and he pushed a wheelchair into my office. So on behalf of this, we'd like to tell you a happy birthday. Enjoy your weekend. And
Thank you. Yeah.
he has to be belted in your car when you go home.
Where's the mustache?
Well, we were going to draw the mustache on, but we were afraid we'd pop your lower lip. There's enough people that want to do that.
Well, thank you. Just another day, another year, and it brings up a good point. The balloon guy, Barabi, did a lot of nice balloons for all the different branches of the military, a big flag and everything for the veterans, together with Vets Dinner last night at Penn's Peak. About 430 people attended that program, very nice program, and get together and talk a little bit about the veterans and their high suicide rate. So, but hey, thank you, Eddie. You'll pay.
So with that, I guess we'll start with Amy this week.
Good morning. A lot here. I thought it was a good agenda originally.
Let me get a drink first now.
Under the check number for the general fund loan number 3 to area agency on aging. How much does that bring that up to for loans?
I have no idea, because they did pay back some,
Yeah,
so now this is
we'll have to
another.
double check,
Okay.
see what it is.
And what, is it because they're not getting the state reimbursement, or what is exactly why?
The state is slow.
Yeah, and that's what I said, it's like, like Wayne was even talking about, like, different things, and the state's not helping out when we get children and youth that's behind on payments and now aging, and it's like, where are you gonna come up with these $400,000 or $500,000 that maybe there's 3 departments that have this, and it happens all the time, and I don't understand it, like, when it's due, like, I gotta send my check for whatever it is, for either a mortgage or your car payment. I can't just say, well, we're gonna get it from somebody else, and it don't work like that, But the state gotta take a little bit more responsibility, not just with the elections. I think with responsibility with, just with giving us our money. I mean, we have this every month, that there's something that is behind on payment. At one time, I think we were almost $2.5–3 million behind. That's unacceptable.
the reentry thing that you guys voted down, when you talked about 2,000 square feet, so you guys would actually have to provide a physical building for this?
Correct, correct.
Well, there is some,
Well-
we wouldn't have to build a building or provide, there's some space currently that could be rearranged down in the 76 building, am I correct, 76 building, that we would be giving them to utilize that space. And that would have been all part of the agreement for them to doing it. So probably there wouldn't be like, I think a preliminary, we wouldn't charge rent, but we would provide space. So that all became another factor, because we're always looking for space, and it was something that became a concern of the commissioners moving forward on space. What happens if we need that space? So,
And then with regards to the opioid funds, how much does Carbon currently have in the coffers that you've gotten so far?
Oh, God, I'll have to get that numbers for you. It's being changed, spent and what we're going in and out. I mean, I think, probably next year or next week would probably be a good time. We should have everything together by then, but
what we've tried to do with the opioid money, and we'll have that number for you, we'll have that because Jeff's currently working on it. It should be noted, you remember we started to do mini grants and then grant proposals, and people wrote grants. So that number is changing as the commissioners have been reviewing as to how much we need to get out. So I think next week, as Commissioner Honor has said, and we'll have a total for all of that for you.
And it'll
Because there's
probably-
gonna be some approvals next week for some people who have put in for some mini grants and some grants. And it should be noted with those grants, the way the commissioners had it is a 1 year, we didn't make multi-year commitments, we didn't say it's for the next 10 years, we're saying it's for 12 months, and then we can re-examine it after that, but it is all a 1 year deal.
And if by chance that money isn't used, do you guys have to give that back at a certain time?
you don't really have to, well, I don't think you're gonna have to give it back. It gotta be spent, but they'll stop the next payment. So if we have, like, if we'd have, say, $800,000 in that fund right now, and if we don't take it down, probably, the way I understand it, it almost has to all be gone. And then our next payment for next year would probably be 1.2 million. So we won't get that until we expend these others, which, I mean, they want you to do something with it, and that's what it's for, and I have no problem with that. But it's just like, we just have to watch, and like I said, the schools are getting back to us. I mean, I actually had a school call me yesterday that they're getting Chris Herring. I mean, Chris Herring is $15,000 to come to the school. So there's expenses, maybe if the other schools get it, I mean, we don't, probably by next week we'll know exactly what's going on, because what is the deadline for them, the 20? We have the 21st, we have a deadline for everybody to have their grants in, but we're hoping to have all that money expended by the end of the year.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, too many pages. With regards to, the election, I know you guys had ballots from other counties. Did you guys ever get an answer on what you do with those ballots?
That is one of the answers we are still pursuing.
Okay, so you're still.
We don't have an answer for that. That was a question, and I know that our solicitor was involved in that, and
Yeah, the initial response from our state liaison was a little iffy, so we do need some more concrete guidance from the state.
Okay, thank you. And then just one thing, Commissioner Notstein, you talked about the Veterans Day Parade, but you forgot to mention about your county one
Oh,
tomorrow.
I'm
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
tomorrow.
Kick my butt. Tomorrow morning at 9:15, immediately after our meeting to open canvassing. Yeah, 9:15 in the park. Weather looks like it's gonna be really nice tomorrow, so I apologize that. Please come out, and support those people. We do our our county employees that can get away for a little while. We don't wanna empty the offices, but please get out there and honor these people that gave up so many years of their lives, like I said, and then show up again Sunday, rain or shine.
Okay, that's all I have then, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for correcting me there.
back.
Okay, a couple things. So just staying on elections quick, what were some of the other answers that you guys need from the state? About,
Well,
before you can certify?
Well, first of all, one of the key, obviously, is what to do with these ballots that we were brought in. Some people were told that we all know where the signatures are, the signatures and dates, because there was a rule out there that had come up with the Philadelphia rule, and Philly apparently there was some times that they could accept without signatures. Was it without signature? Was a
Yeah, and it's not clear whether you segregate those or not, and as you said, with the mail-in ballots, I'm not personally aware of any Carbon County ballots that were misdirected, but we did have at least one Schuylkill County ballot that, and like I said, the initial advice was just to put it back in the mail, and more likely than not, then it would have been received in Schuylkill County beyond the time for receipt for mail-in ballots. So we're still waiting for answers on things like that. But again, we're not aware of any Carbon County ballots that were not received.
And that is our concern, because if that did happen, all along it was, we all know every vote counts and everybody's voice should be heard. Well, if now just because the election's over, why does it, no matter who wins, why just because it's over doesn't that matter? It should always matter. Your vote should always matter. Where that vote went and what happened, it just isn't, well, it's over. You know, it's not going to change the outcome of the election. That's not the point. The point is you always matter. Your vote always elections have consequences, good and bad. Maybe not this time that one vote matters, but maybe next time it will. So let's make sure we address that concern, and that is, because if there is a county out there with a Carbon County ballot, I'd like to know it. I think our commissioners would like to know it. And what do you want us to do with it now?
And it still isn't clear, and I have to assume, because there were 7 counties that were affected, that there has to be some kind of investigation how that ballot could possibly wind up in Carbon County when there's a barcode and a QR code on that outer envelope that would prevent that from happening. So hopefully there's going to be an investigation and some answers.
And I did voice my opinion on that to the state.
I know you did.
And
Bob was present, and everybody outside of 44 heard me also. So I was not happy.
Okay, so that, you kind of answered my other question, so as of right now, you don't know of any carbon ballots that are in other counties?
Correct. We do not.
Okay. And then the 76 building, that space that they would potentially use, is that currently being used for something else right now?
We're not sure. I don't think where they really wanted to put those 3 people.
Well, currently, the public defender, like that's where children and youth moved out. And now the public defender in there took quite a bit of that space. And Jean Pape's office is in there right now because she's out of the courthouse. So when she moves back up here, and there was discussion, like, I mean, there were other departments that needed space too. You know, I think we have to take care of our own departments before we take care of somebody else. You know, that's one of the issues.
To answer that, I mean, Commissioner Arnold hit it, but if you allow, you enter a long-term agreement, and now all of a sudden we need space that we're not getting rent for, or we're actually getting a discount basically because we're providing a space, but then the county needs space. The question comes from the commissioners then, you know, we're out of space and now we're asking county taxpayers to figure out, no, that's something that we need to dig a little deeper into as they look through this contract.
Why doesn't the court put a person from DNA in that space if they have to be within a mile?
And I think that, I said, I missed out on the Geo trip because I was up in the other county with another issue. But, I mean, what I got from the other commissioners was we went up there to sort of enhance the program we got. And it turned out, yeah, and it turned out to be that it's another entity coming in here that's a nonprofit, that's from, and it's an out-of-state entity. It isn't even somebody that's a local entity within our area, you know, and I don't know what to say about it because, like, they're asking me what are my questions about it, when usually somebody comes in and presents something to us. Yeah, we have questions, but I don't think it's being presented to us what the whole program's about. Yeah, you're trying to help people, you're doing this, but how's it gonna work? You know, and I don't know. I don't even know what question to ask them. You know, I've been involved in this drug and alcohol thing since 2010. And it's like things have to be changed, and I'm hoping like people, everybody that I show the new commercial to, and the commissioners are in it, and they say, wow, that's really something different. You know, we gotta start changing to help these people, but we have the people that are in the prison, I said, from 265 down to 135. There's something happening here, there's good happening, you know? So why can't we just enhance that? I mean, and then, I mean, it's good that we could get rid of the prison altogether. That would be a dream, but that'll never happen. But when you know, it's like they had people, we do have people in the prison that are counseling people. And then it goes back to this, and if I said, here's the document that they presented to us, 59 pages, and they want an area to have group sessions. Well, we talked about that over the opiate money, maybe to put a piece on the prison up there, to let them have it. So where are you gonna have group sessions? There's not gonna be enough room down there in 76 to have group sessions yet, and where are you gonna park? And it's one of those things that it's closer to the courts. Well, after somebody's out and they're in this program, they might live in Lehigh, now they gotta drive up here. You know, like why does it have to be within walking distance of the courthouse? I don't get it. I don't, because once the person is in the program, they gotta find some kind of transportation to get here. And what happens if they don't have the transportation? Now we're gonna take them and stick them back in the prison and not have them out on release? I don't know, like, it's just too many things that are not, I don't know, not in the structure of it. You know, and I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I mean, I could talk on this forever, but like I said, somebody comes in, I mean, we have people coming in every day trying to say, okay, this is better, but we're gonna stick a lot of money out here, and if it's committed, what's gonna happen? And our opiate money, I think they even cut some of it down on the years, you're still getting the same amount of money. So if they keep going this, and the one opiate money we're getting was supposed to be in a 2-year or a 1-year payment. Now they put it back to 2 years, so what happens if they take the other ones and go the other way, and in 10 years we have no opiate money to use for anything, and then all of a sudden we have 10 employees. So how do you do it? What's gonna happen, you know, 5-10 years from now? So I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I don't know. And they always direct the question at me. I'm just asking, like, you came to us to show this program that it's gonna work, and I still don't see it yet, how it's gonna work. And the finances is not always everything, it's the people we're gonna help, you know? And I mean, we're spending a lot of money hoping it's gonna help people, and we're going in that direction, and like, it's not gonna hinge on this opiate money. If there's a program that works in the county, the three of us would go for it 100%, I would think, you know? But that, to me, it hasn't been proven yet. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it now. But it's like, I just don't know what to say. It's like, and I go back to it, they went up there to look at it, to enhance our programs, and next thing we got a company, you know, from Florida giving us a presentation. Plain and simple.
Sorry, back to elections really quick. Did you receive any other ballots from other counties other than the ones you already mentioned?
I think weren't there like, was it 4 of them from 3 counties total? I thought it didn't we get one from Monroe? I thought she originally, I don't know. I'd have to look.
This happened in 7 counties, but
Yeah.
as far as I know, we only received 1 Schuylkill
I
ballot.
don't even know if I even have it in here.
So Schuylkill, Luzerne, and
Yeah, is that what it was?
Lehigh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know if I have it in here anymore.
Happy birthday, Bob.
Thank you.
We were very, not to thing, but we have a lot of birthdays this month, and the rest are all women, and I am not about to give you their date or their age.
For the record, 54.
49.
Younger than you thought, probably.
49.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was in an email, and that's what prompted when I went down there on Monday. That was these ballots. Remember the conversation I had with the state?
And to kind of correct this, overall, I mean, overall, the election went as planned and very smooth. Election workers coming in were very appreciative. The returns came in the way they would. Everybody, you know, what was expected to happen here in Carbon County did happen. I mean, even when you talk about candidates, CNN had called out Carbon County here as to how the percentages were coming in according to what they expected. So everything what was expected to happen in Carbon County did. What wasn't expected that we'd have 15,000 envelopes to open in less than 4 hours. And what we did to accommodate for that, and I give Jen her leadership there, was let's get what's coming in out onto the, you know, get that election day done, and then we were staying through the night, whatever it took to get those mail-ins done, so that the 95% was there. And that was the goal. And then it did not help that we, and I think it was very well said in the Times News, people are going to say, well, how did you not know till 12:30 that there was a threat called in? Because if you know what was going on, you would realize that there's a lot was happening. And then we just checked the email, and then there it was. And that transpired in the next, which pushed us another 2 hours back. Because obviously being there was no way of letting anyone in the building until we had the proper authorities come in and give us that. And like I said, they all did. So.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay.
And even like with the ballots, there were some people that wondered where their ballot was and they weren't even registered. Like, I mean, I don't know how that, I don't know.
It's we'll leave the state to decide how the elections need to be. There's quite a bit, and I do know when you go to CCAP, there is a committee that is involved in election reform that will have a lot to say about this. And I just hope that if that committee, when we go out there, when we do express our concerns, that the elected officials on that level, and I'm not faulting anybody, I'm just saying that level begin to realize there are issues that all counties in the state of Pennsylvania are dealing with to try to use the correct terminology, as I would say, because just telling us to ask our solicitor is not going to solve the problem.
By the way, commissioners, they better listen to the election directors as well. They're the ones that do it every day. The commissioners, yeah, they know a great deal about it or deal with it, but the election directors, they should have a strong say and meet with these legislators, and they're meeting, but you know, I don't know how many years they've been meeting and getting nowhere. So I think it goes back to the legislator. They have to get their act together and come up with good, solid, no gray area laws that we don't have to ask these questions. It's gonna be less aggravation for all of us if they make up their damn minds how they want things done or the way it should be done.
I think the greatest thing I heard, and I'm gonna let this go, but the greatest quote I heard out there with all this going on is, we always hear this is the biggest election of your lifetime. This election matters, and you know what? It was, but guess what? We hear that all the time.
Yeah.
The only difference is, like, this time we mean it. Well, reality comes down to it. It is always going to be. So, like Wayne and Commissioner Arnold said, there is some things that need to be done in Harrisburg because 4 years is going to come around and we're going to be back to a presidential election, and those are the ones that everybody gets, and rightfully so. You're electing the President of the United States. So that'll be another huge election. So get ready for it and stop, you know, this is the next and next, let's fix it, or get it at least refined.
Move on and make it better.
Yeah. With that, I wish you all a good weekend. Enjoy, thank you. Wayne will be taking his balloons home for his party. Starts at 7 p.m. on Saturday
Just
night.
don't let your window open. That blows out.
Effective Green Light County, Washington Township,